Hi, First Sergeant Kemp here with Company D, 2nd United States Sharpshooters, and thank you for joining us on this episode of Sharpshooter Minutes. In this episode, we're going to show you how to make your very own black powder cleaner. Now before we get too far, you might be asking yourself, hey, First Sergeant, what are you doing in the kitchen? This is a Civil War reenacting channel. Well, for this episode, everything you need to make your black powder cleaner is probably already in your house. So this is probably almost a free project for you to help your rifle cleaning, and if you're a first sergeant, this is going to be a great way for you to support your new recruits and maybe even your younger recruits build their rifle cleaning kit on the cheap. Now, the first ingredient that we need is probably underneath the kitchen sink. And here we have it, Murphy's oil soap. You can get this just about anywhere. And I've already raided the first aid cabinet. Our other ingredients include hydrogen peroxide, some isopropyl alcohol, and to make this a really nice convenient package, I went to Walmart, and in the travel section they have these little plastic squirt bottles that I find are really handy for spraying patches, for spraying over the whole rifle. And if you can find a period correct style container for this, even better. But you're going to want to find a dark container, and we'll talk more about that later. Now, as we get going, you are going to be looking at equal parts of each of these three ingredients. Now, this recipe is a very, very old one. And in fact, most black powder shooters who have been doing this for many, many years swear by this recipe. It's been passed down by many an old timer to us newbies. It's also great because since you already have the ingredients, you don't have to worry about going to sporting goods stores or trying to find Ballistol online. And this is also fairly nice, natural, clean way of cleaning your black powder rifles. So this is an advanced chemistry class, so we're just going for thirds, and I just kind of eyeball it with the Murphy's oil soap. Now the oil soap is a great cleaning agent. I love what it does for my rifle stocks, really cleans them up very nice. And the oil soap also helps neutralize the hydrogen peroxide that we're going to add next. Now, hydrogen peroxide is black powder's worst enemy. It will carry away black powder residue from every nook and cranny. So if you have a really clogged Sharps block or one that has a clean out screw that is just never going to come out again, this will clean out that flash hole if you give it a nice solid soak just in hydrogen peroxide. Now, while hydrogen peroxide is great at removing black powder, it is also really hard when it comes to rust. Now, hydrogen peroxide is a great cleaning agent, but if you let it dry and you don't do anything to treat the metal afterwards, your metal parts will rust rather quickly. The Murphy's oil soap helps to add that protection that you need to make sure everything stays tip-top, and that's going to pass morning inspection. The final agent is just some isopropyl alcohol. As it usually does, the alcohol serves mostly as a drying agent, but also as a nice degreaser. And just like that, I top it off, give it a little shake, and you have your very own black powder cleaner from stuff you had in your house. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you're going to want to ideally find a dark container to store your homemade black powder cleaner in. The reason is, just like when you buy hydrogen peroxide, it's in these dark metal or these dark plastic containers. And the reason is that hydrogen peroxide will break down over time when exposed to sunlight. I usually just throw these in the bottom of my range box, and it's not much of a problem. And I also kind of overcome the fact that this is a clear container by making small batches. So that when I hand these off to a new recruit, that odds are they're going to go through this much, or 2 or 3 are going to go through this much in a couple events. So for just, well, 97 cents, you can have some cleaning solvent to give to your company, or throw in your own box to make sure that your kit's nice and light and fairly all natural. Now, you can also add this in your kit along with our pre-made boar butter soaked patches. I'll have a link to the video here if you haven't seen that. And we hope you enjoy this video. We'd appreciate a like, and be sure to comment and subscribe, and we'll see you on the battlefield.